Hello and welcome to Hops and Bros. This week,
We're brewing our own beer with Tuque de Broue. We're brewing our own beer with Tuque de Broue.
For an open window on the crowded world, Max and Chris from Hops and Brew. Hops and Brew. Welcome to Hops and Bros. Yeah.
kind of used to start with hello and welcome to Hops and Bros, but I guess we did it when we went to Brew.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this week it's the Hops and Bros V2. We were able to brew the second version of our beer, which is pretty fucking amazing. Sorry, Dad. Chris, how was your experience? How did it go? What did you like? What did you not like?
Now that I'm finally out of the kettle and that my armpits recovered from the heavy lifting of me not being able to lift myself up from this kettle, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, and I had to grab you by the belt to pull you out. That was fucking hilarious. I love it.
Very fun,
we put
very
way
fun.
too much hops in there. Way too many
much.
hops. We clogged the system. It's one of those beers that's awesome because you put a lot of work in, which I love. I very much enjoyed my own personal experience because at Tuque de Broue, Nick, now the owner, was brewing with us, which he was still one of his first batches anyways. Like, he's been brewing for a couple of weeks now, a couple of months. And for me, it's kind of the same thing where I'm in school, I'm brewing all the time, but still on a big system. I've brewed on one maybe a handful of times, maybe 10 times max. So to be able to see his system start working on it was really fun. It was a lot of learning and seeing that every system has their own little quirks. And you can tweak those quirks to be able to get a great product, but every system's different, you know?
That's what really blew me away. Like, the first time we did the Hops and Bros V1, we showed up with like 600 grams of hops and that's it. And just dropped the bags in there. Our name was on the can and bye. That's what happened. But this time we showed up early in the morning, 7:30, brew day starts. Like, not even like, it's I-5 with Nick, brew day, run the mill, get the water ready, push the mash in, and let's go. And dumping the bags in, being able to film, have the discussion, and
it was a brew day. That's the thing. You're right. The first time we went to brew the Hops and Bros, it was very much we brought a couple hops and we were there to show our faces or whatever, right? This time we actually actively participated in the brewing, which was awesome. And we had our own little word to say and trying to figure out like how much hops are we putting, which hops are we putting when, and what should we do with this beer. And it was nice. It was a good experience for me. I hope it was a good experience for the others as well. I'm looking forward to tasting it too, right? Is this beer we made. Chris, you participated in the brewing process of this beer. You were there the whole time. You had literally your feet were in the beer.
the actual beer.
I mean, not in the beer we're drinking, but in whatever was left from the hops, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible, right? It's a different feeling to brew your own beer and to drink it afterwards.
And it was literally comparable to the first brew days we did, like at the HQ doing homebrew. I love the fact, or just the action of making beer in general, and having access to all those tools, all this knowledge at the same time. Nick pushing in all the knowledge behind his full brand new DME equipment, which it's really amazing to see this whole machine working together, and just all the little clicks and things were just all snappy, really easy to do. I had the chance to do clamps. Who does clamps? And we undo clamps, odd beer pours out, and you're just trying to figure out a way to unclog the system. That's what happened to us. But also, I was timing the hops. I did that. We had a timer. I was responsible for putting the
you were in
hops
charge,
at
making
the
sure
right
to put
amount.
the time, and you added the right amount of hops at which time you write it down. It's interesting for sure. That's funny. I forgot you did that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even doing the little test we did, it's not something you really think about it when you think about brewing beer, but testing the gravity at different times, also doing the iod test to see if the fermentation was, not fermentation, but if we extracted all the right sugars from our mash. It's all things that I never even realized one time, and to make it happen right there on the spot for the whole day, it took us 12 hours to do this beer. So I think
There's a lot of work that goes into brewing beer, and that's from the prep to the cleanup to having a beer after. It was really nice to see as well. I had the chance to chat with Nick about his brewing process. He was very ABC because he's still making sense of the whole thing. So I hope I was able to plug in a bit of knowledge here and there of the reasoning why. When I'm learning how to do things, the first theory is one thing, actually doing is another, and then putting everything together is even more informative, because then you realize, that's why we mash in at this temperature, and that's why we kill the enzymes at that temperature, and that's what it's going to do if we do this, or if we add those hops at that time. So it's fun to see different perspectives from professionals in the industry, and yeah. It was a good experience to brew this beer again and to actually brew it this time.
Yeah, having our hands in there and talking about quantities, and yes, we're putting this much liters, we need to keep the literage high enough so we can have a great output at the end for beer to get this much cans. So you feel that every single ounce of liquid or minute that you waste or doing nothing or not being aware enough, then not money is lost, but you get less beer to drink in the end.
Literally, money is lost.
Yeah.
I hate talking about all money. That stuff. No, I hate talking about it. Oh, wow, I killed 2 lights in a couple of minutes there. Well, looks like I'm going to be in the dark for this last part. Anyway,
that's all right.
My mind is always running around trying to figure out, okay, so how can we not necessarily save money, but how can we be the most effective at doing something? And that was very informative, because without going, oh fuck, we can't waste this because it's money out of our pocket, it was mostly how do we fix this to make sure that we don't lose as much this time? Or we don't, when you're, what's a good way to explain this? When you're adding so much wet hopping, you're taking a lot of mass out of your wort, so you have to slow down your transfer to try to let all the beer that's in those wet hops kind of extract themselves from there to get into your fermenter. So that's really hard to do, and a lot of IPA brewers out there put too much shrub in their beers. You don't want any hop extract to go in your fermenter. So that was another challenge to make sure, we have to limit the shrub. We have to try to extract the most liquid from your solids, and that's one of those learning experiences that we do get at the brewery, but I think you get more once you're in an actual business setting and not a learning setting. So It was really nice to be a part of that on that day. I learned a lot. I was very happy. Can't wait to have a cold pint of Hops and Bros in my hands again, and have one that I brewed.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to add one last thing. We did the whole thing, 12-hour time brewing with Max. Max dropping a lot of knowledge, but having just absorbing all that stuff for 12 hours straight was just an amazing experience. Big thanks to Nick and Tuque de Broue for supporting us. It means a lot, but also we did brew all those hops that we put in there. We put, I think, 6 kilos of Cascade and Nugget, both together, 6 kilos, and it's all hops that I handpicked with my girlfriend, with some friends that they showed up for a beer. Vince, my brother Smo, Max helped too. So there's a lot of people. I didn't do
much this time.
But I know, but it's still you get the credit.
I didn't pick them.
You get the credit too at the same time.
Honestly, I don't want it, because I know how much work you put in there, and I did not do half the things you're saying I said.
But damn, those hops smelled so good. I'm so proud of how well the process
I was there when we
up.
Planted them, so I can have that. That was cool. I planted them.
All that,
I nurtured
all
them.
that, Max.
I named them.
Oh, come on. All right. all that just to say that if you watched all my op prep I did, I think a couple of months ago, how to seal them, how to pick them, how to dry them, the results are in. It really produced a fantastic end products to use in your brews. So my experience worked. It worked. Our technique works. I'm so proud.
Yeah, and we'll see in a couple weeks when we actually have the beer. Which it's promising. We got news today, and it seems that it's going to be a very, very good beer. I can't wait. If you want to get your hands on it, the official launch will be on November 17th at Tuque de Broue. And if you can't get it, send us an email. We can't promise anything, but we can try to see what we can do.
Of
but
course.
Regardless, we're gonna have a review so you can kind of paint a flavor picture in your mind of what it is. But if not, come by. We'll be there. We'll have a couple pints. We'll talk. It'll be a good time.
And free high fives. Free
anything
high
else
fives.
to add?
No, free high fives will be available.
I will hug 5 people who want hugs. The rest,
that's you.
No, there's a limit of 5. So
and we have
be
stickers
there or
now.
Be square. We do have stickers and business
do have
cards because we're official as hell.
Super official.
If you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you November 17th at Tuque de Broue.
Of course, Dark Max.